Hey, brothers and sisters, I hope you're well. It seems like the South African troops that they were encircled in the Goma Airport have been allowed to leave their positions. So apparently, the M23 they managed to reach an agreement together with the Rwandese government to allow these troops to leave. Some of them were wounded because they have clashes with the M23 fighters. These were sent to the DRC and they have been treated in hospitals. The remaining soldiers, okay, according to this Times Live from South Africa, they will be leaving the Goma airport and they will go to South Africa. Now the transfer is going to be done through Rwanda, okay, because it's the country that basically managed to reach an agreement with South Africa to allow these soldiers to go. Now there's not only soldiers from South Africa, there are soldiers from other African countries as well, okay. I think there are soldiers from Zimbabwe and Burundi and other African countries. Anyways, the main thing here, main thing to understand, main question to ask yourself is, if Rwanda is not supporting M23, how comes that when these Romanian mercenaries basically gave up, it was Rwanda who, through the M23, they got them into the country. Now, similarly, with the South African troops, still Rwanda, the country that is basically allowing them to leave the eastern part of the Congo through the country. Okay, obviously some of them they will be taken by plane. Okay, I think the total number of South African soldiers that were injured, there were 3 in total, plus the 13 that were unalive during the clashes. Okay, so as you can see here, you have the president of Rwanda and the Rwandese people telling the whole world that they're not involved, but they allow like the M23, a rebel group apparently composed of Rwandans, people of Rwandan origin. Okay, there's only 1 or 2 Congolese in there, and they do it so people think that they're Congolese. But if you look at the phenotypes, they're all Rwandans. Okay, so this M23 is basically operating freely between the border of Rwanda and the Congo. So as you can see, Rwanda supports M23. Although they say that they have nothing to do with them, although they say that they have not created that group, every single communication between the Rwandan troops or the Rwandan government and the South African soldiers, the M23 was basically the intermediator. This tells you that there are elements of the Rwandan army within the M23. That tells you that Rwanda is not interested of the stability of its neighbor, the Congo, because they're doing absolutely nothing to fight against the M23. Another question is, if the M23 is a rebel group, why are they taking areas where there are minerals? And not only that, why are they not crossing the border to the other side, to Rwanda, to do exactly the same thing? Why do they stay in the Congo? As you know, the international pressure from different countries have been increasing in Rwanda. Countries like the UK, for example, have done something symbolic, okay, which is cut almost all the aid they provide to Rwanda and impose sanctions on a number of Rwandan officials. Similarly, other countries from the European Union have done the same thing. There was a draft prepared by the European Union to cut all aid to Rwanda, but this was completely blocked by Switzerland, okay, because all the countries have to vote unanimously, so everyone has to vote the same in order for one of these draft laws can pass through. All right, so as you can see here, although the Western countries are saying that they've been taught from Rwanda, okay, and they want Rwanda to stop the support for the M23 and the invasion of the eastern part of the Congo. For one side, they criticize from one side of their mouth, they criticize, but from the other side of their mouth, they continue purchasing coltan and other minerals from Rwanda. They continue supporting Rwanda with foreign aid, foreign direct investment, and many other things. So I know that this is just the beginning. After the defeat of Rwanda diplomatically, okay, it takes some time to cut all the ties, to stop all the aid. But what I say to you people, brothers and sisters, is please, do not believe in this. Do not rely on this. Do not think that the decisions from the Western countries to stop all the aid from Rwanda will change something. Because these countries have been aware of what has been happening for many years. In fact, they have allowed this to happen and they have been supervising all this. What we have here right now is a change when it comes to business, which is this. Why are we going to get minerals from a country that is doing it illegally by stealing its neighbor, okay, by displacing people, by unaliving people? This is a huge liability for the Western countries, because the Western population are becoming more aware of the situation. You have people in the Congo that have cameras, they film everything, how people mine, how Rwandan troops cross the border, how they smuggle the minerals. There are people making videos. The UN is there and they're telling the truth sometimes as well. So this has become a huge liability for many Western countries, mainly now with all the criticism, okay, and controversy regarding blood minerals, okay, like coltan, cobalt, gold, that comes from war-zone areas, okay, and also all the controversy about Western corporations exploiting the African continent and poor African countries. So all this has helped, basically, the argument of Paul Kagame, Rwanda, they are a liability now. So we can just put them in the bin. And if this happens, the future of Rwanda in Africa is going to be tough and it's going to be difficult. Because although Paul Kagame appears to be tough, whatever he's doing, whatever decisions he's making now, is not going to affect him in the future. It's going to affect the Rwandan population in the future. Because of so much reliance on aid, so much reliance on stealing natural resources from the neighboring countries. This is pretty much the source of income. So if all this is stopped, those that will come after, the future presidents or whatever, maybe a Hutu president, okay, they will have to face the consequences of everything Paul Kagame has done, okay? Just like Donald Trump will have to face the consequences of everything Joe Biden has done during his term. Now, the difference is that Joe Biden was in office for 4 years. Paul Kagame has been in office for 30 years, I think, in total, all right? So, the problem now is this. Although they might be saying we're going to stop obtaining minerals from Rwanda, which are blood smuggled minerals, now what we're going to do is we're going to obtain them directly from the Congo. And we're going to use this Lobito corridor to export these minerals through Angola. Now, the exploitation is going to continue. But now the country that will benefit most from this is not going to be Rwanda, it's going to be the Congo. However, the Western countries, obviously, will put conditions on this. Okay? They will ask for a lot of things in return. First, keep the price low. Keep the exploitation of the Congolese population in the east. These are things that the president of the Congo, Felix Tshisekedi, will have to face. We don't even know if he already signed an agreement to allow this in the country. But there are many things that have to change. And it's true that they have done quite a lot of efforts to regulate the industry, the mining industry, to control the price of cobalt around the world in order to benefit the Congolese people. Now we will see what kind of agreement he has signed with the West in order to get the Congo to provide these minerals instead of getting Rwanda to do it. Now, why allow Rwanda to invade the eastern part of the Congo and Uganda to invade the northern part of the Congo, northeast part of the Congo? Now, every time they want to remove a leader, this leader needs to get dirty. And sometimes in the case of Libya, for example, they have to manufacture all this information about Gaddafi in order to justify the 2011 bombing. In the case of Rwanda, there's no need for this. because you have a person in power that all he seeks is power, greediness, exploitation, not only of the neighbors, but also of the mind of his own people. So all you have to do is allow him to do what he has been doing all these years, but now start exposing him. Not only that, encourage him to conduct this military operation that he's financing. Yeah, take pictures, satellite images, everything you need in order to put a case against this person. Once you have a case against him and his name is dirty in the mind of every single person in the Western world, well, now you have the justification to remove this person from power. This happened with Mobutu, this happened with Kabila, and this happened with many other leaders that the West have been supporting for many years. And then all of a sudden, for X number of reasons, they decided not to support that person anymore as they became a liability. Now, once they become a liability, what to expect from them? Many of them will go into exile. Okay? They will live under the protection of the West because these individuals have been the agents for many years. So obviously they're going to allow them to continue living peacefully in the country and to don't face the consequences for all the crimes or everything that they have committed. Now, the other option is unaliving. And this is well known. They will just finance a movement within the same country. They will just start giving money, support to the opposition, and they might allow what we've seen in the 1990s to happen again in Rwanda. Hopefully no. But this, for some individuals, is an option, okay? Or simply his son or whoever will take over, but this could lead to quite a lot of political instability. So what happened after that is, okay, although the leader is gone, now you need to deal with his wealth because the family relies on his wealth. And what they do normally, they'll freeze the assets of these individuals, and they'll take all the money and they'll leave them poor, living in their own countries, like in European countries, but poor, or living in Africa, but poor. Okay? And sometimes their own people, they'll be the ones that they will do the job. There's no need for them to get involved. All they have to do is remove that security that they have put in this individual, remove all the money that they have given to this individual to sustain his army, pay the salaries of the security officers and everything else, and the rest will be done by its own population. Okay? There's also an option of the neighboring countries seeing the opportunity now that the country is no longer protected by Western countries. Okay? They see an opportunity now to pay back everything they've done to them and to invade, to take over, to change the regime, and many other things that could happen. This situation is getting out of hand, and this could lead to a regional war in the Great Lake regions of Africa. Okay? And I gave you different options here. I give you different scenarios that could happen based on the information I've seen and based on what happened in other countries historically. Now it's up to you to make up your mind. Okay? So I hope you like this video. Please like it, share it, and as always, I'll continue informing you.